Sir, my screen is visible.
Yes, very much visible. Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
So, guys, let's all get on to work and help Chiranjeev. Chiranjeev, increase the font size a bit, please. Control plus on your
Yes, sir.
keyboard. Control plus on your keyboard. That's it. That's it. Once. Okay. Now, just reduce this so that we can see. 15th line says non-blank count. You're incrementing it by one. So what I'll do? Line number 12. See, line number 12. There is a mistake. You said mon. M-O-N. Spelling
Oh,
mistake. Yes. Okay. Now run the code. Yep. And you're
okay.
there. Okay. So this is 9. This 9 output which you have got is actually the number of lines which are non-blank in your file.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Right. So now I believe everyone's work is resolved over here and we can all move further. I think I'll have to reduce my target for today because we are going behind schedule. And moreover, Mansi is also not there, Ajinkya is also not there. So I'll keep my schedule relaxed. Not a problem. We will do the inheritance project tomorrow itself. We will not do it today. Okay. So we come into method overloading now. I request Deepak to please come forward to read this paragraph of method overloading.
Okay, yeah, sure, sir. Uh, which paragraph, sir? It's not showing on the
Oh, oh,
screen.
oh, oh. That means my screen is not presented. But I did present, right? My presentation
No,
was
but it's
on.
a folder. The content was a program. Program was showing. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Hmm.
okay. So the method overloading, we can define method in such a way that that there are multiple ways to call it. Given a single method or function, we can call it with different number of parameters. Depending on the function definition, it can be called with 0, 1, 2 or more parameters. Unlike Java, here in Python we don't define many methods all with the same name, but difference in number of parameters, then it's called overloading. Remember, you can't have two methods with the same name in Python.
So when I say that, remember there is a rule in Python that you cannot have two methods with the same name in Python. That very clarifies at the very first instant दीपक कि हम जिस तरीके से जावा में ओवरलोडिंग करते हैं वैसे तो पाइथन में करने से रहे.
Yeah, true.
So here in Python we don't define many methods all with the same name but difference in number of parameters because it doesn't works. Python gives errors. Python doesn't allow us two
Yes.
methods with the same name. तो फिर क्या करें? So there is a kind of an alternative way around method overloading, and that is a way where you define some default parameter. Yeah, you can mute yourself, Deepak. So we can define some default parameter to our method. Let's to take this example. Okay, so I've defined a class called human, and in the class called human, I'm defining a method called say hello. All of us are well versed with this fact that every method should have the first parameter as self because that is the reference to the object who is calling the method say hello. The first parameter or the only parameter which I'm expecting you to pass to say hello is your name. But if you don't pass your name, I have given a default value as none to it. So the point which I'm trying to make here is we are having some default parameter that we have given. So you can call the say hello function. Remember, you're not defining the say hello function in two ways. If you compare the concept of overloading with respect to Java, then as regards Java, what happens is, what happens, this is misbehaving actually. Okay, as regards Java, what happens is that you are able to define two or more methods with the same name but difference in parameters. Python doesn't allow that. Simple as that. So Python says, I'm sorry, I won't allow you to define methods with the same name. This is not allowed. But to give you the effect of overloading in Python, to give the effect of overloading in Python allows you to call the method m1. So there is only one definition of m1, but you can call it in two different ways. So how is it possible? It is possible. So you are getting the overloading appearance in the way you're calling the methods, but not in the way you're defining the methods. Therefore, overloading in Python is like a little different from that of Java. Have a look. You forget what is the code given inside. You look at how I'm calling. So I'm calling the method first time I'm calling say hello passing no parameters. I'm calling say hello second time and I'm passing a parameter called Swain, the company for which I work. So if I notice here, I'm calling say hello with no parameters and here I'm calling say hello with one parameter. Don't you feel that this is an overloading effect? It is. Because I'm calling the same function in two different ways. So, and the outsider would feel that, oh, you have defined two say hello functions, but not that you can't define two say hello functions in a class. I'm sorry, you cannot. You can only define one copy. So if you have defined only one say hello function, then naturally you have to do some kind of coding here. So you have made a default parameter as name equal to none. In the first case, line number 13, जहां आपने कुछ भी पास नहीं किया, जहां आपने कुछ भी पास नहीं किया, तो name would have become none naturally. See the if name is not none, if name is not none. Now if name is not none, uh, yes, this is going to fail because name is none. So you're going to go to the else part and you're going to just print hello. In the second case, if I am passing my company's name, then the name is going to be equal to Swain. So if will go true because it is not none and it's going to print hello Swain. Let's have a look. You want me to change the name here? Okay, so change the name to, let's say, I'll Ashish here. So Ashish. So let's say we should get first time only hello and second time hello Ashish. Let's see. See, first line output hello, second line output is hello Ashish, right? So you are getting an effect from outside world as an overloading, but you are not overloading. And this can get extended. The more number of default parameters you put, the more the effect of overloading you could feel. So I've got two default parameters here. So I can call say hello in one way, say hello in the second way. I can call say hello in a third way as well. I'm calling it in three ways. So call the method with no parameters, call method with a parameter, and call method with all parameters, not with a, with all I said. जितने हैं सब दे दो. Let's see what output you get. So I should have handled the else if part also now. So if name is not none, this is okay. Hello, no. If name is not none and address is not none, then I would like to hello name and resides in. So address variable from here, right? So instead of else, I should now have an else if, where my else if should have the condition if both is not none, the first gets printed. And if the name is not none, then I would print hello name, and else simply hello. Okay, so let's see. Do I get a change here? Yep. Hello Ashish, hello Ashish, and besides it's not there. Right? So why don't all of you also instantly make changes to your code so that you are able to see that okay, I can see overloading. So more the number of default parameters I put, the more the overloading I can get. That is the moral of the story. So moral of the story is more the number of default parameters, more the flexibility of calling. And this flexibility of calling is considered as overloading in Python. Because the more the flexibility of calling, consider this as overloading. Therefore, I told you, it's not that directly overloading is implemented in Python. There is no quality of overloading that is happening here. It's just that the effect of overloading is being experienced. Last time, I will definitely punch it to you so that you don't waste time in non-coding things. Right? Please, it's all yours. Please go fast on your additions to the code and be sure of the indentation. Don't make indentation mistakes. Friends, only Deepak says done. What about others, please? Sonali also done. Very good. Ashish, Chiranjeev. Okay, very nice. So, I hope the concept of overloading is like cleared. I have given an example here which you need not run. Be careful. Don't overload like this. तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है अभी मैंने बताया ना आपको in Python you cannot define two functions with the same name. So this concept of defining two or more functions with the same name but difference in parameters does not work in Python. So this code post a lecture, please remember to execute. It's going to give you an error. So the correct way of overloading would be when you define only one single function and give some default parameter value. Simple as that. So if you pass some number, I will get it. If you don't pass anything, I will get some default value of your choice. Simple as that. The same thing can be done in two ways. You could define I as none and check if it is none. Now you do some calculations or some printing out over here when the value of I is none. And second, when the value of I is not none, you do the second way of working. Okay. Chiranjeev, I request you to please check, is this code there or not there?
Yes, sir, it's there.
Completely, no? Hmm. Okay. Okay. Now, moving into the topic.
Sir,
Yes.
Sir,
Thomas,
correct way of overloading is not there. Sorry, sorry.
Right.
That's what I was trying to ask you. वही मैं पूछ रहा था आपसे. Is not there.
I open. Yeah.
हाँ, ठीक है. So I'm going to punch you the correct way of overloading.
Only the definition is not there. Rest everything is there.
करेक्ट वे ऑफ ओवरलोडिंग का डेफिनेशन नहीं है, बाकी सब कुछ है.
क्लास ए है मतलब पूरा वो स्ट्रक्चर है. ऑब्जेक्ट
हम्म
इक्वल टू ए है.
हम्म हम्म.
वो सब है. सिर्फ डेफिनेशन नहीं है. स्टैक ओवरफ्लो.
अच्छा अच्छा, ओके ओके
line
ओके.
272 is missing.
हाँ हाँ, अंडरस्टूड. आई विल पंच यू द होल थिंग, सो देन कॉपी पेस्ट द होल थिंग देयर.
But sir, the above code I ran,
हाँ.
there is nothing.
यस सर, आया उसमें.
Which code?
This one, from 259. Yes.
हाँ, but you have run it, but you never tried calling it in two different ways, no? You ran the code, but you never tried calling. You're only calling it in one particular way. So the first version is getting called. Okay, now try doing this. So first version should call this fellow, and the second version should call the second fellow. See if it is happening.
No, error. Okay.
Thank you. ठीक है? Right? So I hope you've experienced the error by adding this one line of code, everyone. And now because you know the error, you also know the correct way of coding. I've given you one correct way of coding. I am giving you the second correct way of coding also, or like this. Chiranjeev, or like this is there or what, or not there?
Let me check.
Mm-hmm.
No sir, same definition is missing.
ठीक है, understood. Okay, all done. Okay, so Deepak is done. Sonali done. Ashish done. Waiting for Chiranjeev. Done. Okay, right. So friends, this is something which we are already well versed with, method and operator overloading. There are many built-in operators in Python which are overloaded through magic methods. We have seen them for a number of times. So what does overloading basically means? Overloading means that let's say that I have this plus operator. If I'm giving it numbers, he knows he's supposed to add them. But to the same plus operator, if I'm giving strings, he knows he's not supposed to add them, he's supposed to concat them. Similarly, let's take another example. I'm taking an operator called asterisk. This operator asterisk says I know I have to multiply the two numbers because these are two numbers. 3 and 2 are numbers. तो वो actual multiplication करेगा. लेकिन अगर आपने ये जो multiply वाला sign है, ये अगर आपने किसी string के ऊपर use किया तो वो multiply नहीं करेगा string को, वो string को repeat करेगा. So you're repeating this particular string called Python for 3 times. I repeat, you're repeating the string called Python for 3 times. So let's appreciate the fact that depending upon the left and right operands, the operator starts behaving. This is called as overloading of operators. And overloading of operators is highly encouraged. It is a very good practice to do it in Python. Not overloading of methods. Overloading of operators, very good practice. But overloading of operators is possible because of magic methods, which you've seen in the previous chapter. So we are straight going to go and solving problem. These are small mini assignments in your printed notes. Okay, let's look at the very first one. Overloading the special or magic methods. Remember, the special or magic methods are also called as dunder methods. D-U-N-D-E-R. Dunder. D-U-N-D-E-R. Dunder methods. Nobody calls the word dunder, but that is an official name given to it. What everybody calls is magic methods. Okay. So imagine, friends, that you are having a cart which is made like this. This is your cart. So you made a class called order, and in the class orders constructor, you're saying that somebody will pass you the cart. That means somebody will pass you kind of a list of items, and from those list of items you're going to make your shopping cart, and whatever is a customer's name, you're going to dump it in the variable customer. Now imagine this. You know very well that on line number 9, I'm making an object of the class order. I'm making an object of the class order. If I'm making an object, I repeat, if I'm making an object of the class order, then I need to understand that this particular class, this particular object which I'm making of class order, I'm not supposed to expect that length function is going to work on it. And how will naturally length work? See, length is a function which is supposed to work on a collection. You can use length over a list. You can use length over a tuple. And how do you plan to use length over an object of a class? No, sir, I will define this method. Correct. If you define this method, then it's a different issue. So you want the length, the way it works over a list, you want the same way length should work over your own class object called order. Now, my friend, that is only possible if you use a magic method called length. So I've used a magic method called length. So when you actually call length over, let's say this is order 1, order 1. So the moment you use the length method over order 1, it actually invokes or calls the the length magic method. And this length magic method is nothing but is just trying to find the length of the cart, and you know very well the cart has a list, so usko the length kaam karega. So in short, length of the order is actual length of the cart, which is length of the number of elements in the cart. Okay, so let me just run this piece of code and show it to you. TQ आया output में, because the order which you placed, you have put markers, you have put red pen, you have put pencils, you put 3 items, right? So because you have put 3 items, cool. So you can very clearly notice that you're getting a cart of 3, right? So I hope you're getting this. Very simple. Very clear? Hmm? Right? I want all of you to run this code. If any part of this code is missing, please let me know. Chiranjeev super fast says done. Very good. I believe all have done. Hmm. Ashish, waiting for you. Okay, I'm going into the third example of overloading, and I would request now Chiranjeev to please read this short comment.
Underscore underscore string underscore underscore and underscore underscore REPR
Hmm.
underscore both are used to represent the object as string. If we don't override this method, then it prints address of the object.
Correct. We saw in the last chapter that whenever we want to print our own objects, when you want to print the content of our own object, we will have to convert the object into a string. So there are two ways of doing it. One is underscore underscore str, other is underscore underscore representation. So underscore underscore str and underscore underscore representation both are going to print the object as a string. So let's see this. So what we have here is class vector. As regards a class vector, first is the constructor of it, जो आपसे vector का x component और y component ले रहा है. All of us know vector has two components. One is a magnitude, other is a direction. So you could consider it as two components. Both functions do the same thing. Representation, short form REPR, string, short form STR, both do the same thing. Whatever object calls it. So, if we are feeling that, hey, have we to call the string function? No, actually not. There's no need to call the string function. String function or representation function is automatically called. I'll show you one by one both. Wait. Okay. When you actually call, now I'm sure this thought would have come in your mind. ये सवाल आपके ध्यान में आ चुका होगा, बस पूछने की देर होगी कि रॉकी जी सर, अगर रिप्रेजेंटेशन और स्ट्रिंग दोनों सेम काम करते हैं तो अगर आपने दोनों डिफाइन किए हैं तो दोनों में से कौन सा कॉल होगा? गुड क्वेश्चन. I'll come to it. Give me 2 minutes, please. So when I use the print statement, normally print statement, and I print the object v, I end up actually calling the string function. So if both the functions are defined, string would be given higher preference. String would be given higher preference, and it will be called. So just to show you the demonstrations of both, and by the way, both are never defined. Either you'll define string or you're going to define represent. You'll never define both. So vector 3 comma 5, you can see this output. This output was given by this fellow. So it says I'm going to print. So whatever is given in F means you're formatting and printing something. So in single quote, whatever you're printing, vector bracket open, whatever written here will get printed as it is. Suppose if you put a comma and you put dashes here, so dashes never came in the output. Obviously, it never came in the output, or it never gave any error, nothing, because str is being called by default. Now, if I remove str, only then the turn of represent will come. Please notice the three dashes here. Three dashes here. So turn off represent will only come if str is not there. Remember that. str has got more preference than representation. Both do the same job. So never code both. Code only one. Okay? And you have to call them. They are magic methods. वो अपने आप से कॉल होंगे. जब आप कोई प्रिंट करके जब आप कोई ऑब्जेक्ट को प्रिंट करने जाओगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो ऑब्जेक्ट एज अ स्ट्रिंग प्रिंट होता है तो नेचुरली एज अ स्ट्रिंग वो प्रिंट हो जाएगा. राइट. So I want all of you to please try this piece of code. If this code is missing, please let me know. Ashish says code is missing. Okay. Full code is missing, Ashish. पूरा का पूरा क्लास वेक्टर पूरा नहीं है.
रिटर्न वाला.
Return statement you are trying to say is missing. I'll give you the whole code so you can replace the whole code and check. But remember everyone, you have to run the code in two iterations. First case you run with both together and what you're seeing is the output of str because I have made some changes to representation. And second time I will remove the code of string, only then the chance of representation will come. Otherwise representation का chance ही नहीं आएगा. Okay. So I'm getting an acknowledgement from all of you that you've tried both the ways. That's very good. Right. Now I would request Deepak to please read the short comment here.
Yeah, sure. So, making your objects true or false by overloading boolean. In Bullock code, if checks boolean status.
Perfect. It checks the Boolean status. Deepak, I hope you'll agree with me that it is very unusual to actually use our user-defined objects in an if statement like this. अब technically speaking, हमारे पास दो objects है supposedly. One is order one, other is order two. And हम directly, so what is this for loop doing exactly? This for loop is going to pick up order one, bring it to the variable order. Next time we're going to pick up order two, bring it to the variable order. And if order one, so how can our user defined object be used as a boolean expression variable and an if or else? Yes, it can be, provided we have overloaded the underscore underscore bool magic method. Provided. तो अब वही हम अभी करने वाले हैं. So we will see what has to be done. Yeah, you can turn off your audio. So friends, in this piece of code, we are going to see how to overload and why to overload the boolean magic method. Okay, so we have a cart. So the class order actually has a cart, shopping cart, and the customer's name, because to place an order I need two things, your shopping cart and the customer's name. And I've overloaded this magic method called boolean, which checks is the length of the cart greater than 0, That means, have you ordered something? If you have ordered something, I repeat, if you have ordered something, then obviously, I repeat, if you have ordered something, then obviously your this line would return to me true because this is a relational operator. A relational operator will either give me true or false. Therefore, if the length of the self.cart is greater than 0, it's going to give me true. And if this is 0, 0 is not greater than 0, it's going to give me false. Right? So I go here now. So I've got two order objects. The first order is having a cart with 3 elements, and the second order is having an empty cart. So a customer made an account, but he didn't do any shopping. Second case, the customer made an account and he did some shopping also. Okay, so first case cart is there, second case cart is empty. So order 1 comes in the variable order. You're checking if order 1. So moment you say if order, you're trying to evaluate this as a boolean expression. So immediately that instant the bool function will be called and the order 1 object's cart would get checked. Order 1's object's cart is having lots of elements. So it's going to be true. And because it is true, I'm going to print. Remember the order variable is right now holding order 1. So I'm going to print order 1's customer's order is processing message. On the other hand, as regards order 2, I'll be printing empty order for customer order.number. Simple as that. Let me show you. ABC is the first customer, right? ABC is the first customer. Order 1. He has a cart with lots of elements, so his order is being processed. Second customer XYZ is empty. So empty order for customer XYZ. There is no order. He's come for window shopping. There is no order. He just made his account. That's it. Okay, right? So now I want Deepak to tell us if there is any code missing, and if it is, what is it?
So nothing is missing. Everything is there.
Okay, fantastic. Good. Go ahead, everyone. Chiranjeev is already finished. Others. Sonali also is finished. Very good. Everybody is done. Good. Right. So, forwarding example number 4, I would request Sonali to please read the top line comment.
Yeah. Making your objects capable of being added using plus.
Right. So, suppose Sonali, if I give you a very simple situation that your cart is already having things like OnePlus and a mobile cover, and you want to add Amazon to it. Naturally speaking, अगर ये ऑर्डर 1 है तो मैं आपको ये अगर पूछूं कि ऑर्डर 1 में आप ऐड कर लो Amazon, naturally this is not going to work because order 1 is a user defined object. You cannot add anything to it like this. It's not a string कि उसको आपने उठा के एक string ऐड कर दी. तो हम ये एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं, कि ऑर्डर 1 में जो हमारा कार्ट है उस कार्ट में जो भी कुछ है उसके साथ साथ एक और चीज ऐड हो जाए, वो है Amazon. Now I would expect inputs from your side of how do you think the code is working. Explain the line number 11, please.
So here is the order. Like we have added the things in it, like OnePlus mobile cover, and there is a customer name, the cart and the customer name. Okay. Then we are printing that order, which is going to call. Now, when I do order one dot cart, it will be printing what are the orders are there. Now the next thing is I have to add an Amazon to it. So when I say plus, it will look for a definition. So we have an underscore add, that is a magic operator.
Hmm.
So what it will do is self.cart. So already I have in my card OnePlus and mobile cover.
Correct.
So it will take that. I think copy function, as per me, it will take that as a copy of it and
Hmm.
append what I've newly added to it. So when I
No,
say
no,
dot
no, 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 no. So till this point, you are all correct that line number 11 is going to call the constructor of order where the cart would be created with these two elements and name of customer will become ABC. You are absolutely correct. Order one dot cart is going to print the two things, one plus and mobile cover. Then you were also correct saying that order one plus will call the magic method, not operator. Plus operator will call the magic method underscore add. You were correct. Here, remember, when you do self dot cart, so what is coming to self में कौन सी चीज आएगी जिसने add को call किया? Who is calling add?
order one.
Correct. So order one is coming to self. So order one dot cart, which is basically this kind of a list here, you're creating a Xerox copy of it, literally a Xerox copy of it, and that Xerox copy is getting dumped in the variable,
New card.
right? And to this new cart, so this new cart has no lena dena with order one. I repeat, this new cart has no connection at all with order one. कुछ connection नहीं है. It's in a different address space, different memory space altogether. It is a Xerox copy of the original book. And in this Xerox copy, you are writing something, you're appending something, you're appending other. Who's other in this case? The Amazon string, you're right. So the Amazon string is getting appended into the new cart, which is actually merely a list. So एक list में पहले दो elements थे, न्यू कार्ट के लिस्ट में दो एलिमेंट्स थे, अब उसमें तीन एलिमेंट्स आ चुके हैं, वन प्लस मोबाइल कवर एंड Amazon. Okay, now what do you think are we doing here? It's not only you. Anybody can answer this. Sonali, yes, you pause. Anybody else can answer this. What are we doing here in the return statement? Come on, class, you can.
We are returning an object. Sorry,
So
the
are
new
you
object which we have created, we are returning it.
right? So you're making a new order object with a new cart, but the old customer name. So customer name remains same as ABC only, but the cart is new. That is being returned, and that new cart or new order object, I'm sorry, is being assigned to whom? Assigned to whom? Is it being assigned to a new order variable or the same old order variable?
Same.
Correct. So you know what is happening in the computer's memory? In the computer's memory, your order one was referring to a order object which was having two elements and the customer's name as ABC. Now what's happened is, because you made a new order object which is having three elements and the same customer name ABC, this new address is being reassigned to order one. So obviously order one says either I can refer to my old copy here or I can refer to this new object here. I can't refer to both the people. I can refer to one of them. So when you put this address into order one, naturally speaking, this address pointer is going to get wiped out, and because this is going to get wiped out, so naturally nobody referring to this space. You have learned yesterday or day before yesterday about garbage collection. So reference count of this space will become 0 and he will automatically be garbage collected. That's very important to understand. Therefore, this space is the new space which is going to get printed. So if you print this, it's going to print three elements. So order one dot cart would definitely print three elements and not, okay, right? So I want now all of you to execute your code. If any code is missing, please let me know.
Yes, sir. Line number 789.
Line number 789 is missing. Okay. Please be very careful of the indentation. I'm giving line number 789. So Deepak, Sonali, and Ashish saying done. What about Chiran? Chiranjeev was done before. I was waiting for him unnecessarily. Hmm. Okay. So friends, today's session will end here because Mansi and Ajinkya both are missing the session. So we're going to tomorrow start with this inheritance tree example. Just a second, let me stop the recording.